Hi, and welcome to a new video of the Targeted Individual Experience, the Targeted Individual Program. So it's been about a week since my last video, maybe a week and a half or so, and a whole lot has happened. As usual, you guys see my video as I explain exactly what's happening in this criminal coercive persuasion program. And just got new material, a whole bunch of new material, and I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can. I have a lot of videos, so this will be a two-part video, only because I don't want to make these videos too long, and if I include all the video, it may run well over an hour. Okay, so we'll talk about mind control, brainwashing, the use of technology such as silence on spectrum to condition a person's mind, the use of silent subliminal messages to condition a person's mind, the use of dark NLP, which is used to create a negative mentality mindset within an individual, basically splitting a person's mind in two in order to create a person whom the architect of these programs go around saying that this is who this person is. Okay, and in order for them to achieve the help within the individual community or communities, they will condition that individual who is the target individual, and create a perception that they create to say this is what this individual is. Okay, and they use many forms of manipulation. If they target you for non-consensual experimentation, they have to find some way in order to shut you up so that you could never come forward and expose what's being done. And I guess they have banked on that working in the past, and maybe it did, but this is a new era, a new generation of TIs who have the power of the internet, who have the power of cameras in their phones that they can record, and who have information that was hidden, that was unknown until targets started to speak out and research and find information about this new non-consensual human experimentation program. Okay, and so with my experience in this program going on 20 years, about 16 knowing what's happening, because at some point they will make you become aware, and for some people they will never make them become aware of the non-consensual human experimentation program, the coercive persuasion program that they put into, again, as a cover to label and discredit targeted individuals. Okay? All right, so let's talk about some of the psychological tactics and process that they use, particularly mind control language pattern. All right? And part of the mind control language pattern is what is called dark languages, or dark NLP. Okay? And so what they have done, and this is the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Defense, the DoD, is that they have, and as you can see the head in here, taken mind control from the laboratory to the streets, mind control theory. And not just from the laboratory, but from the prison systems, from the mental institution. And those are the two entities in which a lot of brainwashing program have taken place in and continue to take place in. And so I want to read just the first 2 pages under this chapter on mind control language pattern. This is the book that you can read online for free. It's written by Dr. Lion Jones, and it's very informative, very insightful. Okay, and for those of us who've been put in through this Coercive Persuasion Program, basically we are brainwashed and mind control through psychological means and through technological means. It is important that we understand what's being done, simply because knowing is better than not knowing. So at least when you know, you can fight and combat some of the negative conditioning that has been done to your mind. Okay? Now we're all, for those of us who are put into this program, we're all psychologically damaged. Okay? And for some more so than others. And so you can be very informative and knowledgeable about what's being done to you and what has been done to you, but it doesn't escape the fact that you are psychologically damaged. And particularly me, I'm trying to salvage whatever sane mind that I have left. And so that's why I continue to do these videos to expose it, and also do a lot of research in understanding how it is that these people do things, as well as studying my own experience. Okay, and I'm not a scientist, but you have to think like a scientist in terms of studying your theories, okay, and also providing information, evidence, what have you, to back up your theory or your claim. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, so let me start reading here. So, taking mind control from the laboratory to the streets. Mind control theory. Mind control theory is simple and can be described as having 4 basic levels of perception and influence. First, consider the basic theory behind mind control, which is very simple, and then we'll divide into about the practice of it, which the remainder of this book is dedicated to describing. The first level of perception and influence is the most superficial. This is where stimulus meets the senses. This is quite simple and straightforward in theory. People respond to what their senses perceive. On a practical level of influence and mind control, this means limiting what the subject, and I might say subjects because meaning targeted individuals, right? So what the subject perceives with the 5 senses, so that they can make conclusion and assumption based only on that information. This is what many cults attempt to do, and many of the paranoid conspiracy theorists believe the so-called Illuminati are doing to everyone. Well, those so-called conspiracy theories are not paranoid, okay? And you may call me a conspiracy theory if you want, but I've experienced it, and I'm still experiencing it, and this is what they're doing. And the majority of people have no idea, have no clue. Maybe not to the level of us targeted individuals. When I say not to the level in terms of the psychological conditioning that's being done. Because for us, it is being done on a more concentrated, high intensity level, as with the rest of the people in society. Okay? The second level is an attempt to define the meaning of the sensory perception. In other words, if you introduce someone to people jumping up and down with drums beating, then you can define it as dancing or demon possession. And the definition will be accepted as long as the subject has no prior reference to the stimuli. If the subject does have some prior association, then they are likely to bring that information into the meaning they create. This third level is one in which the subject develops their own meaning and interpretation of the information. I just got stuck there. Sometimes, because again, what they do to you affects your mind. So sometimes I'll look at a word and not being able to properly pronounce it. So I just gotta like look at it for a few, and then I get the pronunciation. This personal interpretation may incorporate level 2 definitions. Here, the individual compares the sensory information and its given meaning to their own pre-existing beliefs, perception, and experience in order to draw a conclusion. For example, a beating with a cane may include pain, first level perception, and be prescribed as a punishment, second level perception. But the subject may associate it with an experience in their youth, where they were whipped by an attractive nanny and experienced arousal. Thus, their third level of perception would be one of arousal instead of punishment. At the fourth level of perception, strong emotions and beliefs are associated with the external stimuli, and thus ingraining them deeper in the individual psyche. At this level, these beliefs and emotions become like elected politicians who spend a great deal of energy trying to maintain their power. It is at this level that habits, obsession, and phobias take hold. Mind control practice. When bringing the above theory into practice, it is always wise to consider the design of every part of what the subject will experience with their senses. This is why a salesman in his own sales office will sell more than visiting prospective prospects. In a sale office or church, temple, recruiting center, bedroom, etc., the subject has no control over the environment and must often yield to the experience that the sales office creates for them. At this level, influence has less to do with language and language pattern than what the total 5 senses are perceiving. At this level, one can create the pacing and dragging experience for the subject. Pacing and dragging, which is not exactly pacing and leading, occurs when the subject figuratively agrees to step into the door, pacing, and then is brought from one experience to another with such force, speed, and intensity, dragging, that they must agree to the conclusion of what they experience. This is how some criminals create a compelling reality which makes their mark feel safe enough to give up his money. On the second level, language patterns can be applied. The most simple application of language patterns is done by calling an experience or perception good, bad, holy, demonic, importance, worthless, or something else. Practical application at this level of influence is often done long before the actual experience begins. So they condition you, okay? And then they'll give you the experience, right? For example, many young women are raised to anticipate their wedding as a sacred, special, or important event. And as a result, they minimize the work, trouble, and expenses that everyone else would consider as pain in the ass. As a lesson to the mind controller, it is important to set up this level of influence as early as possible so the subject is ready to experience it as you prescribe. Okay? The third level of influence can be the most challenging to control because it is difficult to know how the subject will incorporate the information they perceive. While you can prescribe a meaning to the experience, it does not guarantee that it will be accepted or that variation in the meaning will not be made. As a practical matter, getting feedback is very important. The meaning the experience is given can be nudged in one direction or another with accurate information. If the subject has a strong pre-existing opposition to the direction, then change can be very difficult. Okay, so I'm going to end it right here because I don't want to get too much into it. But again, this book is called Mind Control Language Patterns by Dante Lyon Jones. You can find it on Scribd. And, it talks about dark patterns, okay? And I've talked about this before in my video, but this is just a refresher so people who recently start watching my video can, get the information, all right? And so I'm just going to read this part here, and I've always read this part because I think it's very important. When he says, I've seen the result of these dark and destructive language patterns. They are devious because most people don't even know they have happened. They live life half-heartedly with no purpose because someone meant to hurt them. If you know of anyone using these mind control language patterns to injure you, you have every right to act and stop them. And this is what I'm doing. This is what others are doing. And not just the psychological program, this Coercive Persuasion Program, but also the non-consensual human experimentation, the illegal microchipping for the purpose of remote neural monitoring. They try to hide whatever evidence that you get or try to prevent you from gathering and getting evidence of just the psychological damage and the physical damage that they've done to you. Okay? And, a lot of TIs, you have many health problems because of the use of these directed energy weapons that are being tested on us. And so a lot of illnesses that we may develop later on in life is exacerbated, and we're now having these illnesses at a younger age, right? And so, like for me, because of the microchip, because I've been illegally microchipped for the purpose of remote neural monitoring, I've had brain damage, the fluid in which I believe it kind of holds the brain up, because right now my brain has shifted up because the evaporation of that fluid, and that's because the microchip, the remote neural monitoring, which uses microwaves, and the microwave heats up the brain. So a lot of times I get, particularly when I'm being heavily remotely neural monitored, I get very painful headaches, okay, or I'm very tired a lot of times, and it's because of that. And it's because they're doing this, they have put me into a coercive persuasion program to discredit and to surveil me using civilians, the civilian population, to engage in a psychological warfare against me, because again, to shut me up, right? And then trying to use an investigative heading as to why they're doing it, and so people cannot talk about this, right? And I talk about this stuff on the website psychologicalharassment.com that talks about, let me see if I can find it here. Where are we here? Here. Okay, psychological warfare on manipulation and covert type investigations, right? So, and I tell TIs all the time, okay, especially when those of us who've been harassed by police officers on a daily basis, okay, that this is what they do, right? So there's another TI in California that I talk to all the time, and she's always telling me, well, these police officers are constantly harassing me, okay? Well, if you have any information or anything that you want to investigate me on, get a warrant or take me to court, okay? And she's been going through this for like 10 years. I've been going through this a lot longer. My brother, who is my twin, has been going through this for 25 years. There are other TIs who's been going through this over 30 years, okay, because they're being experimented on, and they're using these type of covert type investigation, the psychological warfare, to shut us up, okay, or to keep us from coming forward to expose what's being done, all right? And they talk about this here. It says, it said there are many possible psychological manipulation type scenarios that can involve the use of sensitive information or dark secret. You have seen a movie where the bad guy says something like, "Get me some dirt on that guy." The information would be used to intimidate the target or induce fear, stress, and paranoia. This type of scenario can easily fall into the classification of blackmail, where the target is in a catch-22 situation. The target would have to reveal the sensitive information or dark secrets to law enforcement in order to obtain some type of help or assistance. Now, this part here, when law enforcement are involved in your targeting, okay, this is not being done so you can go to law enforcement, okay, because law enforcement, that you know that they are involved in your targeting. So basically you have no one to turn to unless you write to the FBI, and they'll just pass you off as being some delusional person, okay? Like, again, so this is strictly to protect the architect of these programs who are illegally experimenting on human beings, who are engaged in all sorts of psychological manipulation tactics, who are engaged in illegal setups and frame-ups in order to keep the victim of this non-consensual human experimentation program silent. Okay? This is what they're doing. All right? And for one, like I said to TIs, put your story out there, gather all the evidence, put it out there so other people can know what they're doing. Because there are a lot of people that are going through this that have no idea yet that this is being done to them. And eventually, like they've done to us, they will make them become aware of it. Okay? So we need to put this information out there to warn these people so that they don't fall into a lot of these traps. Okay? And so that they'll have a source of reference to go to find out information about what's happening and what's being done to them. Okay? All right. So, you know what's next? Let's go to the videos. And like I said, this is going to be like a two-part video because there's a lot of videos that I have that I've recorded, and you know, it's nonstop when you're a target individual put into this program. It is a non-stop 24/7 365 days a year effort to undermine you, to discredit you, to silence you, and they'll do that through numerous ways, okay, including manipulating you to commit suicide. They take away your financial resources, such as your job, so that you can't fight back. They'll destroy your relationships. Okay, they'll manipulate your family and family members to destroy your family. Okay, and to turn family members against you. Okay, so you have to understand that. And use the technology too. A lot of times I'm with my family and we're being microwaved, and I can see they're being mind controlled. Okay, and how I recognize these things is through the use of synchronization, in and out, walking in front of me, placing their hands behind the back with their palm facing towards me, constantly sticking their finger in their ears in my presence, or pinching of the nose or tapping of the nose. You know, sometimes they'll walk past whistling, right? Or they'll do hand signals, putting their hand behind their head and swiping their hair down. You know, a whole host of things that they'll do. Okay, but I know at the point that we're being microwave. Okay, you know, there is no protection against that if you're a TI. We're dealing with directed energy that can't be seen, that operates, that the microwave operates at the frequency of a person's brainwave or a human being brainwaves, and therefore they can interject thoughts, behavior into anyone. Okay, and they have no clue. They have no clue. All right, so let's get to the video. Okay, so in this particular video, I was inside, and I heard police sirens. And immediately after the police sirens stopped, car alarms started going off. Okay, now the police sirens, wasn't on the block. They didn't pass on the block, so they wasn't close to say that they will trigger a car alarm. But they were a distance away. Okay, because it was very I wouldn't say faint, but you can hear it. But it wasn't loud enough to where it will activate car alarms. Listen to this noise campaign that's going on here. Now you'll hear two distinct sirens. Okay.
So now they're going to start.
That's sirens. Car alarms. Two distinct car alarms.
The car alarm noise campaign that's going on here right now. Okay. Just started happening after I heard sirens, and the sirens was near the block. Okay, it was at the distance. Immediately after the sirens stopped, the car alarms started going off.
Okay.
See, again, mention the noise campaign, and it stops. I was on the couch. It was going on for about a minute. Got up, start recording. Mention about the car alarm going off. Now it stopped.
Okay, now you'll see this guy here. If you look down on the sidewalk, you'll see he's walking. He's wearing red shoes. Okay. Now again, all right. At this point, I could have been microwave to say go to the window. Okay. But I had my phone with me, so I was recording. So you'll see as he walk by, he's going to raise his arm up.
Listen to this noise.
Went back too far. So here we go. All right, see he raised his arm up.
See, again, mention the noise campaign, and stop.
Right. So as I mentioned there, is that, I get a lot of noise campaign, and as soon as I start recording and I'm starting to talk over to explain what's happening, the noise will immediately stop. Okay? Because again, they don't want you to have evidence of, the noise campaign, the type of things that they're doing. And I could just be silent and let it play out. But I want to show that immediately as I start talking about the noise campaign, how it immediately stopped. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show. All right. Okay, so this was let's see, this was on the 13th. So this was last Wednesday because it is the 20th. So that was last Wednesday. So between last Wednesday till now, so much has happened, right? The intense level of the psychological warfare, psychological operations against me, was incredible. Okay, the stuff that they'll do, and you'll see it in the video, and it starts off gradually and then it intensifies, right? Okay, so this again, the 13th. and it was like I think I was getting ready to. I picked up the kids from school, and Ethan had a dentist appointment, so we were on our way to pick up Pam, their mother, and take Ethan to the dentist. Okay. Now I'm gonna skip some of these. I'm gonna skip past a lot of this stuff because I want to get to the important part that I can remember. Now, I have looked at this video already again, but I can't remember every single thing. So some things I'm gonna miss, and I say this a lot of times. Some things I'm gonna miss. Okay, but I try to remember the most important things so I can explain to you guys what's taking place. Okay, so I muted the sound because I don't want to get a copyright strike because I have the radio on. Okay, so I'm taking. Before we get to the kids, to Pamela's job, workplace, I'm taking the kids to McDonald's to get them something to eat because, like I said, we're going to be out. And here, you'll see they start using the red theme. Okay. Now, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Okay, and you guys will see. And what you also notice a lot of these perps doing is that they'll walk in the street, or here I am going through the McDonald's parking lot. And you've seen videos of me going through this parking lot before. And I rarely remember anyone walking in front of me like this, going through the parking lot. Obviously, this individual's don't have a car in the parking lot. He's just walking through the parking lot, and I'm perplexed because it looks like he just came from the grocery store. And you'll see the block that this McDonald's is on, there is no apartment building there, and he's not going into the McDonald's. So the apartment building you see here is the next block over. Okay, so to say that this is a shortcut, no. Because it's not. Because you could have just walked up this block and turned on this one to get to the apartment building. But anyway, people do stuff for whatever reason. But the fact that he's wearing red, and the fact that I'm targeted a lot with the color red, because red is a color that I've been sensitized to, and it's not just me. Everyone is sensitized to colors. Okay, some people, when they see a person wearing black, it may bring up, or it may trigger memory or images of a dead loved one from a funeral, so it makes them feel sad. So again, the architect of these programs are expert in these things. This is the CIA, Department of Defense, FBI. They are expert in psychological manipulation and on the brain and on the mind, the psychological mindset of people. All right, so they know these things. So they crafted this program. They knew exactly what they were doing. Okay, and there's no way as a target, if you've been conditioned, brainwashed, there's no way for you to just simply ignore it. You can't do it. So now, as I just pulled up, you see this guy, okay, comes from around the vehicle, okay. Now, look, he's looking at the other guy that's walking this way. They're both working in tandem with one another, okay. And, he doesn't look too happy, right? So maybe the guy in the red knows what's happening and is targeting him, because it didn't look like he was targeting me. Because this guy looked upset. Okay, he kind of looked a little pissed off. Because normally they will walk in front and do all these kind of hand signals, right? Excuse me, I gotta drink something because doing all this talking sometimes my throat is dry. Okay, so let's go on to the next video. Now I'm still at the McDonald's. Okay, still at the McDonald's. So I'm, pulling up to the drive-through window. Okay, let's keep going. So the first thing I noticed when I got there is that you have a vehicle that's parked up in the parking lot, right? Now you may say, yeah, it's a McDonald's parking lot. There's gonna be a vehicle parked up there. Okay, so there's a vehicle parked up in the McDonald's parking lot, but yet has this hazard light on, blinking. Now, you're not going to get a ticket. Okay? You're in the parking lot. Why do you have your hazard light blinking? Right? It doesn't make any sense. See, the one thing with being a target individual, and if I pause this as I'm pulling up to the window here, right, to we get our food, you'll see two NYPD police officers walk across. Okay, let's go back slightly. Let's go back. That's too far. Okay. So here they go. They're walking across right here. Okay. Talk about synchronization. Okay. But here. Okay. So the moment I pull up to the window, and you see the reason why I'm driving back is so that I can get a better picture or video of them. Okay, and what is happening is that right now I'm beginning to see a lot of police presence. Okay, and then it's going to intensify. So by the end of these, the second video that I'll show you, you'll see how it, from the first video, how it happens gradually, and then in the second video, you'll see how much it intensified in terms of the frequency of police vehicle in my presence. Okay, either going in the opposite direction, or in front of me, or following me. It's going to intensify a lot. Okay, still heading to Pam's workplace pickup. Okay, so okay, so look here. I just picked up Pam, and we're still heading to the dentist. And I might have missed a couple of things, but like I said, I don't want to play the entire video because this will be a very long video. Okay, and then you'll see the vehicle with the license plate number 32 in it. Let's go back here. And again, you'll also see an increase of vehicles with that number. Okay, so like I said, it gradually starts off and then it will intensify. Okay, and as you can see here, is a better picture of it coming up. Too far. Okay, well, this vehicle. I know there's a. I know I had a picture there. I think I might have went just a little too far. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back here. Okay, let's see here. I do want to show this because it's important. Okay, so he pulls up. Right there, if you guys can see it, number 32, right in the beginning. You guys see that? Okay. Just wanted to show that. All right. So now let's go to the next video. We arrive at the dentist and I wait on the side. At this point, I turned off the radio. And whenever I'm parked up, they'll always send
Here they
the
come.
perps.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just pulled up there now. All right. Watch.
Yep, here they come. Here they come. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't look at me. Don't look at me, buddy.
Okay, that's me because they're staring in the car. Okay, literally staring in the car as they walk by, or they'll stand on the side of the on the sidewalk by the passenger side, staring in the car.
I tell you, they show up as soon as you reach somewhere. They show up.
Okay, now look at this guy. Now this is a very busy street. People don't walk in the street on, I think this is 4th Avenue. So it's very, very busy. And you don't see people walking in the street. They'll cross over and go on the sidewalk. But not this guy. Okay? And right there, he's looking at the license plate of the car, which is what they do. They always look at the license plate, right? Okay. Let's see what else is next. And again, you got people walking by, looking in the windows of the building, or the apartment building. They do that stuff a lot too. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time. And there you go again. They're walking by, staring up at the windows. You'll see that a lot.
Yep.
Oh, you got to clean in? Okay.
Okay.
So funny.
Let's go on to the next video. So we are on our way back home.
It's a morning, so
Okay. So that was Wednesday. So here I am. I'm on the block, waiting for parking. Let's see here. Okay. Still waiting for parking, and I got parking. So not too much happened on the way back. Um, so let's move on to the next video, which should be the next morning. Okay. Taking the kids to school. Okay. Um, okay, dropping the kids off to school. What happened? Yeah, I'm doing a video. What happened? Eh? Oh, if I want bacon? Yeah, thanks. Okay, where are we at here? Let's see. Okay, see these two women walking by. See how she sticks her finger in her ears, the other one playing with her hair. Alright, so as soon as they see me, they start. Now also, they've been using a lot of Hispanic women to target me. So I'll point that out because they've been using them to target me in a very peculiar way. And that's how, sometimes they'll do that because they want you to recognize your targeted and who you are receiving the type of targeting from. So as soon as they start approaching, you see them start moving their hands. This one put her hands in her back pocket. Here she is playing with her ears. The other one brushes while looking at me. They're both looking at me now. See her looking at me? Okay. Okay, there was a guy. Let's see if it was in this video. Might not be in this video. Another video. All right. So I'm on my way to pick up Pam to take her to work.
Things like you look good in that dress. There's a message from her saying, "Don't speak to me anymore."
Okay, so here's again street theater where they'll have a paid actor. Okay. And this is stage to make him act like he's crazy, all putting on a show in front of me. Guess he's carrying on, talking to himself.
Still gonna
All right, so he's right there. He's acting crazy. Okay, and this goes on for well over 15 minutes. He's out there in the cold now. Okay, acting like this. So you see, he moves. Right, that's him walking away because I started to give him hand signals. All right, so I started doing hand signals to him. So then he moves and he went behind the car, so I can see him in the rear view mirror. Okay, because you see, he doesn't want to be affected by what I'm doing to him. Okay, so what the thing is with these people is that they want to target you. They want to do all these hand signals. They want to blur out these subliminal messages through conversation that they're having with other people or pretending to be on their phone. But the minute you started doing the same thing to them, they don't like it, so they move. Okay? So you'll see him come back. Now she's standing there. She's also part of the street theater. Okay? But I'm not, my focus is not on her at the moment. Okay? So you're going to see, okay, watch this. So he's going to come back into the frame, and you'll see, we'll go back a little bit more, to where he's going to come back into view. And then they're going to start with the red theme, using the red theme. Okay? So he'll come back. That's him right there. Oops. He puts this red hood on. Okay. I'm trying to brighten up the picture a little bit. Now he takes the dude rag, puts it over his face. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you how they subliminally trying to condition my subconscious mind, okay, through this video. So I want you to remember this right here, that he takes out his dude rag, that's what he has in his hands, and he covers his nose and mouth, okay, with it. And I'm going to show you a repeated pattern of this, okay. Now I didn't pick up on it at first. It wasn't until I started to review the videos that I picked up on it. Okay. Now you see, as he does that, this guy comes into play now. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Okay, he takes it out. I'm talking about synchronization now. So now here this guy comes out. He's looking. See, he's looking at me. And when he does that, okay, that was their signal. That was the signal. So now they both now walk off together. Okay, you guys see that? They work in tandem with one another. Now, this guy here, he's going to show up. Then he's going to come back. Okay. And I need to show this. So, he's going to walk this guy here. Let's go back a little bit more. Okay, so at this point, the guy that's standing in front of the store in the black jacket, he does this. Okay? Then he walks out, kicks his feet. So he's moving his feet. And again, I'm going to show a repeated pattern of this. Alright? And now he goes and he folds his arm as if he's mad or something, as if he's angry. Then he walks back, and he's gonna smile at me, okay, as he's walking. Let's see if I got it on camera. So there he is, right here. You'll see before that he was smiling, and he walks by, looked and smiled at me, and now you hear the police sirens in the background. Okay, and I turn the camera because both of them there are targeting me, and as I turn the camera, he walks off and he walks off. Look at him. Comes back. You know, when they're being caught, they try to play it off. Again, paid actors. Okay, you see him looking at me, right? Let's go back. He is looking at me. So Pam got in the car, and so now I am taking her to work. Okay. Let's go back here. And I'm just skipping past this. Like I said, I may miss a few stuff, but that's okay. I'm trying to get to the important part that I remember. I may have gone a little bit too far. Sure, that's stuff from here. Let me see if I remember anything here. But that's why I have to film this stuff because you know, if I'm driving, sometimes I'll pick up on the targeting, and there are times where I'm more focused on getting to my destination. I'm trying to make these videos not too boring, because sometimes, like I said, you know, the targeting will start off sudden, very subtle, and then it'll increase over the next few days. So what I'm showing right now is just a very subtle form of targeting, including with some street theater. You saw the guy, you know, who's talking to himself and stuff like that. But they, you know, he was really there to target me because they knew where I go to pick up Pam. So they're there. Okay. So, and again, you know, they'll play upon the religious theme from time to time. So from time to time, I'll see vehicles with the 666, but I'm not religious, so it doesn't really bother me. There are a lot of TIs who are very religious, they're Christian, and they target them with the 666 in the license plate a lot more than they do me. You know, this doesn't mean anything to me except 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. I believe in science, okay? I don't believe in no hocus pocus, you know, religious foolery, because that's what it is. It's just to fool you, to make you live your life in fear, and so that you can be obedient to the power structure, okay? Which is white supremacy. And even white people suffer under white supremacy also. Poor white people, okay? Poor white people suffer under white supremacy because, again, the false notion that their skin gives them not give them, but makes them feel that they're better than black people, while voting for politicians who don't give a damn about them, and who basically keeps them in the same condition as poor black people, but they can't see it. You know, the whiteness is too important. The white skin is too important over coming together with poor black people to fight the structure and to make their life and everybody else's life better. Okay. Also, you know, they've been using a lot of gray cars in my targeting, but I don't want to focus on that because, again, that would make the videos too long if I point out every gray car that they use to target me. Okay. So, let's go to the next video. And this is just, you know, I'm going home now after dropping the kids up from to school, taking Pam to work. I'm going back to her apartment. And I call it home because I practically live there. I don't have a lot of clothes here, but I'm here the majority of the time. I would say 80% of the time I'm over at our house. All right, so let's go. Okay, might have a little bit too far here. Okay, here we go. So, I couldn't find any parking on the block. This parking space was filled. Watch the hand signal. And behind, she's actually playing with her ear, and then she started playing with her hair. So these things, now she's gonna take her hands, put it behind her head, brush it down, up, down. See that? Again, all hand signals, all triggers. And once I get them into view, they stop all that foolery with the hand signals. Okay? And then they leave. And I just kind of skip past it because, again, I'm not trying to make this video too long, even if it's going to be lengthy. Okay? And so later in the afternoon, after the noise campaign, during the day, after I got back in the apartment, throughout the day, heavy noise campaign, sirens and everything. So I picked the kids up from school, and again, once I exited the apartment building, sirens started. Went to pick them up from school, got out to school, sirens started again, and then I took them to the store because they wanted to get something, and I was walking towards Flatbush and started hearing the sirens again. So that's when I started recording. Hear that? Whoop, whoop. I talked about that particular sirens, right? Now, as the sirens going off, you hear this dude here getting hands behind the head. Okay. hand signal type of thing.
Sorry. Okay, get your chips.
Also have a
You see when I open the door and the lady's coming out, you know, she doesn't look too happy because she know I'm recording. You know, I mean, they basically got, I would say, 95% of the neighborhood targeted me. Okay, 95% of the neighborhood. Okay, next morning, which is the 15th, taking the kids to school.
all sitting back. No, my head. My head. The sidewalk. Has it too.
All right, pull up in front of the school.
They're not paying attention.
Pull up behind the vehicle. All right, see the number 32. Now he waits until I pull up behind him to drive off. He had ample opportunity to drive off even before I made the turn onto the block to let the kids out. Okay, let's go back home. So, you see, as I'm approaching, this here perp comes out of one of the building, and he's going to stand there and just stare at me. Okay, because they want to let me know that they're constantly watching. So you'll see he'll come out if they've, you know, trigger him to come out, you know. Whether it's through the cell phone, they're letting him know where I'm at, or through the microwave mind control technology. He's going to come out, he stands right there, and he's fixated on my position, staring right at me. Girl walking, coming up, puts her hands behind her head to play with her hair, brush it forward. It's all synchronization, and at this point, this is they're being microwave. Okay. As soon as he comes out, stands to stare at me, those two walks up, and she starts flicking her hair. He just stares there like a zombie, just staring. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next video. Waiting for Pam again. Take her to work. So, different day. The next day, we're gonna do another street theater. This time, no one in front of me acting crazy, except it's a young woman, okay? Young black woman, who they're going to use, and you'll see. So as I drive up, you'll see her walking up. You see, she was standing there when she starts walking up.
But just so you know, it's a good plan. So there's a lot of things you can do to make your money.
Okay. She's gonna walk back. I want you to pay close attention to these two guys who's walking up and what she does afterwards. Now she turns, she looks at both of them. Now he grabs his crotch. Okay? As he's looking at me, he grabs his crotch. Okay? Red car shows up, burgundy car shows up. Now she's going to walk off. Okay, walk towards me. Okay? And when she gets close to me, she does this. Okay? And again, you're going to see the red theme at play. So, here he comes. See, I said it even before I even recognized it actually happened, because, again, the tactics. So, you see, he takes his hand, he grabs his crotch again. See, he's from the back. So now the other guy comes out wearing red again. Okay? So, let's go back slightly. Alright? So, the red theme at play. Using the color red. Come on. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, let's go back slightly. Alright, here we go. So here he goes, right? Now watch his left hand. Right there. See, he takes his hands, grabs his crotch. Okay? And so now, this guy comes out, the red theme again.
This fight was literally more than 5 minutes from where it happened to the hospital. $950.
Now, as this is happening, after this happened, you'll hear me say, you know what, I'm gonna have to mute the sound because they're talking, and I don't want to play for too long. But what happened was there was a police car that was approaching, okay, coming from the direction that I'm facing, and it turned on its lights and made a U-turn. Okay.
Somebody's ass. I ain't dealt with that before, but
Okay, I know.
so right. Decision to unplug the respirator, so I'm sitting. They're like, yeah. Where all the family is burned.
Okay, let's go. So, watch what he's gonna do. The guy in the red jacket, he's gonna come back out of the 7-Eleven.
Hey, tell me, tell me,
Okay,
tell me.
see the ambulance with the sirens going, and that's the signal. Okay, that's the signal. That noise is a signal. So here comes the other dude. Alright, now watch this guy here. Okay, so remember in the last video prior to this one started, this guy in the red jacket walks up, and then another guy in this car in the red jacket walk up. Maybe a different guy. Because I think the guy had on a sweater, right? So this is a different guy. So again, so the red theme I play here. Now this guy comes out. Okay, he pressed his thumb. Let's go back slightly. Okay, that's too much. Okay, all right. Okay. I'll go from the beginning. And she turns around, looks at me in the black jacket, the black coat right here. Okay, so now he comes out of the 7-Eleven. Ambulance passes by. Okay. I see the dude across the street. Red jacket. Gonna cross over. Now this guy comes out. This is all synchronization. He looks at him. Okay, so he turns and looks at him because they're all working together. And watch what he does. Takes his hand, presses his thumb against his neck, and then takes his thumb and press it against his ear. Okay? And now this guy turns now, stops, looks up at the 7-Eleven sign, starts wiping his nose with a, he had a tissue, white tissue in his hand. Okay? And as he's walking by, he's looking up at the sky. Okay? And eventually he'll walk past me, smile, looks at the garbage, and then looks up at the window. Okay? We talk about anchors and triggers. We talk about an individual being brainwashed against their will, without their consent. You talk about training civilians in the art of psychological warfare and how to trigger a target to send a subliminal message that triggers a built-in response, whether it be a thought, an action, an emotion, that goes against the Nuremberg Code, that goes against the sovereignty of a human being, that goes against the civil and constitutional rights of those that are living here in the United States, those that are legally living here, not illegal. Even illegal have some rights on the civil rights and possibly the Constitution. I'm not quite sure about that, but still. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. So this is the NYPD engaging along with the FBI or the CIA, a combination of all three, in basically brainwashing people. Okay, and then using civilian in and teaching them the art of psychological warfare and how to elicit a response from a targeted individual, a response that has been built into that targeted individual mind through mind control and brainwashing. Okay, I'm going to skip past some of these because I think I've shown the important part. Here's so now you're going to see a different kind of threat. Okay, so what happened is that also they'll have people walk towards me wearing hoodies, or whether they have a coat or jacket with a hood, and as they approach me, they will put their hood on. Okay, so you'll see an example of this here as this individual walk past me. Let's see if it's him or somebody else. Yeah, it's him. And then all of a sudden they'll put their hood on. Okay, and that is supposed to be some kind of threat. Okay. Alright, so that's me taking Pam to work. Let's skip past some of this stuff. I got a few more videos to do. Skip past this. Alright, that's about long.
Get her by the gate.
So again, you see the guy standing in the street. As I approach, he starts walking towards the car, and he does this. Okay, this is how they send me a subliminal message about being quiet, not saying anything. Okay, and then let me go back a little. Actually, let's go back here again. So he's standing, you see he approach, starts doing this, looking at me. Okay, I want you to watch on my right side. One of these women, she puts her hands over her mouth and put it back there. Okay. I'm trying to hurry up this video because I had to go pick up the kids from rehearsal. They're off this week, but they have rehearsal from 9 to 12, and then they have lunch, and I pick them up at 12:31. Okay, and you'll see. So in order to not, again, allow me to get to show a definite pattern in my targeting, sometimes they'll do stuff like this, where as I'm turning, I believe it's this video, but you'll see going up there, there's a police SUV in front. Okay? So no other car, right? So imagine if I had arrived at that on the block a few seconds earlier, I would be directly behind this police car. And then you can see as I approach, as the police car passed this car that was double parked. Okay, and here you see cars double parked on the block. Pull out behind the police vehicle. Okay. I got quite a few videos left. Wow. Okay. So I'm sitting in the car because I'm waiting for 10 o'clock so I can leave. And this woman.
Oh yeah, you move, right? Look at her, she moved. She comes standing by the car and shit with a, digging through her bag, taking out a newspaper, right? So I was actually watching a video online.
All right, so because they knew I was watching a video on my phone, they sent her to come stop by the passenger side, turn towards me, dig into her bags, take out the newspaper to show me. Okay? And then when I took the phone off of the car mount,
she stand up right over here, right?
She moves.
Going through her bag, and then
she over in front of me,
shows it to me, and then she see me take.
Now, when she was standing over here, she wasn't bending over like that. Okay? She was not bending over like that. But the minute she got in front of me and she see that I was recording, she started walking off to get in front of me.
Take down my phone to start recording her ass, and she moved. Look at her right there.
Okay.
Look at her. Look at her. Why she move? Right? She's standing right here. Right here she was standing, right by the passenger side window. Yeah, look at she turned around. Yeah, I see you. You're not that smart, lady.
And the audio again, this time is a little ahead of the video. So you have to
yeah, you move, right?
Alright, let's get back to yeah.
Why she move? Right? She's standing right here. Right here she was standing, right by the passenger side window. Yeah, look at she turned around. Yeah, I see you. You're not that smart, lady.
Okay, now while she turns around to look at me, to stare at me. Again, this is what these people do. This is a cult mentality that these people have because they've been manipulated to behave and act in the manner in which they do. And they use it whether through their religious belief or whether through some false notion that they're given of being neighborhood watch or what have you. Because they like to talk about safety, particularly when they target me in a certain manner. They use all these security guards. I'll always see them around with the security in the back of their shirt. But then again, I'm not a security threat. These people are security threats.
You move, right?
Okay? These people are serious threat to public safety, to democracy, to a person's freedom, because of what they do. All right? And so here I am going to pick up the kids. And again, because I'm being heavily targeted, I started recording the minute that I'm in the video. I mean, in the elevator. In the elevator going down to the lobby. I have my phone out and I'm recording.
Hey, Willie. How are you? I'm good.
Trying to grab some money.
I hear you. Good luck.
Okay. So here I am walking behind these three ladies. Okay. And you'll see here. Now I'll show you how they use teenagers in my targeting. So as I'm approaching the intersection, I don't know what happened to my phone, but it looked like it was zoomed in, and I didn't zoom in at all. So hey. But you'll see these two teenage boys as they turn around. He turns and he does this. Okay, the other one in the red hat, he has money in his hand, and you know he'll flash it so I can see it. Now, he's not giving him any money at all, and you'll see that. But it's the money in his hands, and again. I guess the reason why they zoomed in the lens on the camera is to not get a proper identification because everything looks blown up and a little bit fuzzy or blurred. Okay? But see the money in his hand? Now, this is not this guy's hands. Both his hands, he is still in his pocket. It was out. But again, they try to make it seem like he's giving him money, but no, it's not, because he took it out immediately as I got close. All right, showed it to me. Okay. But again, that's masking technique that they do. Let's go back slightly. Okay, the use of teenagers. In my talk. Okay. Now I remember earlier during the day, the woman in the video I showed you, she came and stand by the passenger side, the window of the car, digging in her bag, and she takes out the newspaper. So I go to pick up my kids from school. I picked them up early, and this guy came as I was there standing up to pick up my son, because my daughter already came out and she was playing with her friend. So he comes up with a newspaper, staring at it in front of me.
Okay, stop! What?
Okay. So again, this is the type of thing that they do, right? And I mean, it's unbelievable, okay? And they do it in a setting in which they feel that, well, I can't record, right? But again, I have to prove to them over and over again, okay? Whether you use your children to participate in psychological harassment in the psychological SILE program, I have every right to record evidence to defend myself. Okay? So all of this, coincide with each other. For example, and you'll see this in the other part of this two-part video that I'm going to do. I've talked about this before, where they have hacked into my Facebook account and basically accepted a friend request that they've sent to me from a young woman named Lily. Then after that, going to pick up my kids at school, waiting in the yard to pick them up, these young kids will approach me and they'll say, "Where's Lily?" Then recently, I parked at my block and I'm crossing the street, and this woman approaching a cab who is supposed to be on the other side of the street because she called the cab, and on the other side of the street where he was at, that's not where she lived. So her house number wasn't even in front of the house where this cab driver was parking, where had parked at, waiting for her. So she, as I exit the car, she comes out with her two children, and she's yelling out the name Lily, talking to the cab driver. Now, this guy had his windows up, and he looked, Pakistani, Indian looking, and this is all comes into play because you'll see this. I have the video, and I'll show you the correlation of everything, right? And so she starts yelling out, Lily, and I'm like, is she really calling this guy that? Because no man that I know, and particularly if you're Indian or Pakistani, all right, there is no male from those two countries named that. So for her to be calling this guy that, I'm just like, okay, that's kind of weird. But I called my brother talking about that. He was like, he used to work with, and I was like, you know what? Don't even explain anything, because this is probably what they want happen. They want to interject things into your mind, plant things in your mind, whether it be images, names of people, places, so that they can later on, with remote neural monitoring, draw a reference while they're targeting you using street theater, referencing back out to those places, names, events, or what have you. So this is what they do. Okay, so I have every right to prove and defend myself against what's being done to me. Okay? Alright, so let's see. Next video. Okay, so that same afternoon, which was Friday, alright, last Friday, which was the, let's see, the 15th, we had to go meet Kid's mom, Pam, at the outside clinic that she works with every other Friday, because we were going grocery shopping afterwards. And so this is us on our way, and this is going to be the ending of part one, because I'm on my way over there to pick up from my job to go grocery shopping. And part two will show you exactly what happened and how everything coincides with each other, okay? So stay tuned.